Let's begin by taking some long, deep breaths. And then letting go. And again, long, and then exhale. One more. And exhale. And as we settle into our bodies, let's be aware of the feeling of the inside of our bodies and then the world outside our bodies. And start to pay attention to your skin, feel this light shining down from above, lighting up your crown chakra. And as your crown chakra lights up, all the muscles in your body start to relax. The light that is shining onto that crown chakra is like warm water, relaxing your muscles, calming down your cells, helping you to let go of all those thoughts. And feel that bright light moving down through the top of your head, relaxing your scalp, relaxing your brain, and lighting up your third eye. And focus with your eyes closed until you can see that eye. And feel this bright light shining out from that eye. And feel the energy moving, relaxing your jaw, the back of your neck, down into your throat chakra. And feel that light spinning that chakra open. And that light is infusing your vocal cords with a direct connection to your intuition, so that you can honor and articulate when intuition tells you. And feel as this warm, relaxing, powerful light moves down through your shoulders, really relaxing and letting go of all the tension in your neck and in your shoulder blades, down your arms, through your elbows, into your wrists, out your fingers. And as that light hits your heart chakra, see yourself exploding in compassion, like fireworks. And feel your heart opening, unafraid to be vulnerable. Feel your heart pumping, unafraid to be powerful. And feel this light moving through your torso. And as it does, it's surrounding all of your organs, your stomach, your kidney, your pancreas, your liver, your appendix, your heart, your lungs. All of that soft tissue is filling up with compassion, healing, and light. Then see that light enter the solar plexus and see that chakra shining as emotion. Feel that primordial soup. And let that light move down into your sacral chakra, into the womb. And feel that energy. Bring that womb to life. Feel that womb as a container for the creative energy that births through you. Now feel that light move down through your pelvis, your hips, your thighs, down through your knees. Feel it moving through your calves and into your ankles, bringing with it that powerful, healing light into your feet and out your toes. And feel it light up your root chakra, grounding you in beautiful Mother Earth. Now feel yourself in your compilation. You are surrounded by the electromagnetic domain that compassion has created for you to house your consciousness, to prepare for physical manifestation. And as you're in your compilation, you're lit up. All your chakras are spinning with the speed of light squared. You feel as if all of your body is vibrating at such a high speed. You wonder if you can sustain it. It's so powerful. And as you're aware of your breathing, start to regulate the vibration. Start to homogenize all of the chakra energy. Blend all that energy into one cell, one particle. There's no more separation between the chakras. It just is. All of that power conglomerated together. Relax. Know that everything is perfect. Even in its imperfection, it is so perfect. You are being honored as masters. You are each the master of your own domain. And this compilation of consciousness is your domain. It's where everything begins, out of the nothing and into the everything. Compassion impels energy to step out and incite energy to create a circular membrane domain. And your consciousness comes alive in that domain, in that compilation. And feel yourself so submerged in the source, in the center of the planet, that you can't hear intellect. You just are. And as you breathe into this compilation, see yourself clearing the air, where everything is becoming still, quiet, peaceful, and perfect. And as you sink into this perfection, imagine where compassion is transforming energy into consciousness. What part of your compilation does that energy emerge from to become consciousness? This is the miracle. You may take it for granted when you're trapped in the intellect, but this is the miracle. You're being aware of the place in the physical world, albeit the microcosm, where consciousness impels energy to make the move from the 0 point to the 1 point. because this is happening at the speed of light squared. It's going so fast that you're perceiving it as the physical world. But when you slow it down, you get so deep into the source that there is no time. You just are. This is where all of your power lies. Just be there. So we will command that only the most divine light shine down upon you at this time, and that the greatest good be present here. Today is a revolutionary day. This is the day when you take one more step into owning all of your power. In order to help facilitate that ownership, we want to make some suggestions today. You must look at your domain as a series of pieces. We've articulated those pieces to you as intellect, intuition, and emotion. But what you have to understand is that as much as we've taken you into a relaxed state of consciousness while you're in your compilation, you have the entire universe in there with you. It's a lot of chaos. Chaos is what creates the universe in the first place. But here, in the compilation, you have the power. You have the power to slow the energy down using your breath and intention. You have the power to speed the energy up using your breath and your intention. You have the power to change, like the fourth fundamental force transforms one thing to another. You have that power to transform sadness to joy. You also have the power to transform joy into sadness. And what you're learning right now is how deep the patterns and intentions go in that compilation. You are witnessing the demonstration of how powerful you are, even when you're not in charge of your own domain. You're still in charge. So when you relinquish the power of that compilation, that inner world, that domain, to what that universal energy is going to become, then you become something of a victim to that manifestation. If you are tossed around and out of control in your compilation, so it shall be in the physical world. And we've come here to tell you that this is a time of rapid acceleration. that, like no other time on the planet, you are going to manifest what is in your domain. No other time on the planet have there ever been this many human beings committed, willing, and completing the tasks of gaining this mastery over your own energy, the energy that is yours, that gives you life, that is granted to you freely by compassion. Never before have there been this many people awake to the truth. And this is creating a synergy that is rapidly moving the manifestation along. So in the macrocosm, you are seeing the truth rising up and manifesting. Sometimes the truth has to manifest in ways that are uncomfortable, that look like suffering, in order to eventually free yourself from the bonds of illusion. So when you've built such a structure of architecture on ideas and concepts that aren't the truth, then they have to crumble. Those have to come down. That you're not good enough. That you're doing something wrong. That you're limited. That you're a victim. That is one of the segments of your domain. It doesn't have to dominate every aspect, and it doesn't. You have many aspects in your compilation of consciousness, in your psyche. And your job is to learn every single aspect as if they were your children. Imagine you had a lot of children and you couldn't keep track of them. It would be a mortifying experience to lose your children or ignore your children. So you must think of your psyche and this inner self in this compilation of consciousness as parts of a whole. And some parts are hurting. Some parts are already free. A large majority of your compilation has come under your sacred control, your mastery. And don't discount your mastery because you still have learning to do. It's all proportional to what the condition of the whole is. And for those of you who are doing this mastery, in a way it's true. You're carrying the rest of the planet that isn't awakened. But those are parts of yourself. And so the humility and the compassion and the love that you can have for every human in the world, no matter who they are, no matter what level of awareness they're at, no matter how functional they are, no matter how intelligent they are, no matter how well-meaning or not they are, the more that you detach from them and then take in those aspects to deal with internally. So you're looking for all of your children, even the most stubborn, hard-headed, badly behaved child. Because children, especially these aspects of yourself, are the essential pieces that need to be unified. You need to be finding them. That's why in the macrocosm, there's such a focus on the children. You must find the children. You must stop the killing of the children. And as you do that, embrace them. When you find an aspect of yourself that's out of whack, don't punish it. Don't punish your children like that. They've been tortured and traumatized, and they need patience, compassion. You must look at them as if they're torture victims. And how do you bring that unity to those aspects of yourself? This is such personal, deep, emotional work. It's much easier to look outside yourself and look at the world and look at other people and call yourself a victim to it. It's much easier in many ways, but ultimately, you have come here to be these people of power. And so this is the platform you're creating in order to bring that power into fruition. You cannot do it without this platform that you're going through, without the vibrating of the aspects of you that need unification. And this is a daily job. It can be play, but a lot of it feels like a job, and that's okay. Because when you do this job, you get paid. You get paid in your own unification and your own power that then is going to manifest the very things that some of those children feel like they don't have. Not that you don't have everything you need right now, but the perception. Understand the difference between perception and awareness. Perception comes from intellect. How you perceive something, what angle you're going to look at it. Awareness comes from deep within you and travels through the intuition. And it travels up into the intellect, and awareness there then can tell you what the intuition is perceiving. But it doesn't control the view of awareness. It participates in the articulation of awareness, but perception is absolutely controlled in the intellect. So if you perceive yourself to be lacking, that is how you're going to perceive yourself. And that is really part of the root of your discomfort. Not that you're lacking. You're not. You are tapped into the greatest power there is. You're not lacking. Your perception is that you are. So you change your perception. Sometimes by changing your perception, you change the level of ability that you have to process emotion. Because your perception has been trained through all of these years in the voices of culture to keep yourself limited, victimized, out of power, slaves. Think of what you're doing. You are rising up against slavehood. You're doing it in a stealthy way, in a conscious way, in a methodical way. Not just haphazard, not just stumbling along hoping you'll do what's right, but owning your power every single day. Because it is not hyperbole that this work that you're doing is so important to the world. And as 2025 moves forward, you are going to find more and more every day people who are being drawn to this same message. People who you may not have felt would ever be drawn to a message like this. You can't change your awareness. So you're going to be aware of those things. Your perception might want to disregard it. This is the work. This is the work guiding your whole system into alignment. So stomp on some sidewalks if you must. We are always encouraging you to express yourself consciously. If you need to cry, make room to go cry, and cry like crazy. And while you're crying, you're going to be given an opportunity to disconnect the intellectual descriptions of what that incident is. And you want to be very prepared to carry around with you the self-awareness that you need to do this work on this deep, intricate, intimate basis. This is making you masters. And as we move through this year, you are going to be called to bring this story forward. And when we say that, part of it is in conjunction with our plans to go worldwide. But another part of it is in conjunction with your plans to be masters. That's what's important to you. Not how it turns out, but how you gain mastery over this inner world. The root of it all is compassion and kindness. The root of it all is you. So as you are moving forward in the week ahead, take this to heart. This is so intricate. And it's so intimate. And your intellect and your ego in particular is the root of evil. If there is a devil, that's it. It has the power to say no to God. Are you going to be that person who says no to God when God comes calling, when compassion comes to impel you to love yourself? Are you going to ignore it? Are you going to continue to make choices to suffer? Or are you going to breathe into the tears and the articulation with powerful intellectual messages that keep you focused on the oneness and the unity and the compassion? Because you are doing this. You are having a huge impact on what manifests on the surface of that planet. And you can't judge, because some things need to be purged. There just comes a time when purging is necessary. And you know, you've all had piles of possessions that you need to go through and get rid of, purge. Well, think of that. And we want you always to preserve an aspect for tears, because crying has gotten such a bad rap in the voices of culture. And it's such a powerful, powerful healing process that people stop themselves from doing. Don't. Let yourself go deeply into it and bathe in that deep emotion that is the basis of the entire world that you are aware of. We'll open for any questions and conversation that you'd like to have.
I really appreciate this. The meditation was beautiful too, and the light, shining the light down through me. I really felt that I just want to ask some clarifying questions. So, as far as changing my perception, because I'm perceiving that I'm not being very successful at different things. So, this is my perception of me that needs to be changed. So, in the intellect, so does this mean, as far as what will help, affirmations to change my perception, or visualizations to see myself being more successful, or just this breathing through the emotion of not being successful? I could use some clarification and guidance. Thanks.
Yes, well, you must redefine your idea of success. You have a very skewed definition of success, which often is a definition that you really can't meet. One of those part of that definition is perfection. Part of that definition is the ego's perception of one thing that it has determined should happen. And therefore, if it's not happening, then the ego has determined that you're not successful. So that is the first thing, that you must look at success not as an external manifestation. You must look at success as the internal mastery of this process that you yourself align to. When you're having these thoughts that you're not successful, that's why we created the revolution, is there's your soundbite to revolve. That's your mantra. You can also bring other mantras that you've pre-planned and pre-prepared. I don't need to know why I'm feeling this way. I just need to be in the breathing. In fact, I have to stop thinking right now while I'm in the breathing, and then experience the wave as it's coming and passing. Afterwards, you can look back and do some analytical synopsis of what happened in your intellect. You can try to find out where those patterns are coming from. But the most powerful way to change it is to redefine success. And one way you could do that is to define what truly is not successful. Everything that you have, eliminate it. You don't have a house. You don't have any money. You don't have a car. You don't have a family. You don't have a mission. That's unsuccessful. Now you're comparing success instead of comparing it to what you think should be manifesting, what your intellect is perceiving should be happening, and it's not. And so therefore you are not successful. Somewhere in there is that adversarial, oppositional part of your aspects that knows that, but it's still feeling like it's in need of being propped up. Still telling you don't know. Well, you do know. So there's all kinds of perception changes that you can intend to facilitate that will help. And the easiest mantra, we feel, is the revolution of the lie.
Of the lie that I'm not being successful.
Yes.
And to look within at where I'm being successful as far as my awareness.
The success that you're looking for is the mastery of your energy. That's the success you're looking for. You're not looking for success in how many dollar bills that you manifest, or how many people that you have come to you, or any kind of physical thing that happens, or any kind of intention that you're going to vision. That's not where you judge your success. It's in the mastery of your energy. As you go through these very normal transformations like you did today, it's a learning step to realize, oh, look at me looking outside myself to define all of my success. And then when it doesn't show up, I've created this perception that propagates the lie. So your success is going to be unpropagating the lie, not manifesting outside yourself. That will be a byproduct. That's not the goal. The byproduct is the manifestation. The goal is the mastery. And every time you go through a situation like this, you're given another opportunity to reach one more deeper level of awareness.
Okay, wonderful. Just one other clarification. When you mentioned the intuition and the vocal cords, could you either repeat that or say that, explain that a little bit more?
When you honor and articulate yourself, it comes from your intuition. It comes from your emotion. It comes from your heart. It doesn't come from your intellect. Your intellect is part of delivering the articulation, but it's not part of forming the articulation when you're honoring yourself. It's part of delivering the articulation. The way that you articulate what you honor is by being. You honor yourself by being and listening to your heart and what it's saying, by feeling your feelings and bringing them through up into that intuition that is the words of your heart. When you honor and articulate yourself, you don't necessarily do it in a impelling message like intuition, rest, turn left. When you articulate yourself, you use your intellect to articulate what your heart is telling you. It's a difference, because when you're trying to define who you are through what your intellect is building and who you think you are, it's never as complete as when your heart is open and the I am is flowing, and that you can be that and then honor it however you do, and then turn to the world to articulate that wholeness and not just a limited perception of what ego thinks.
Well, thank you for all of that. There's a lot to process, and I appreciate all of it. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you both for the meditation and for your comments. And thank you, Debbie, for that great question and the great answer. That helps me too. Thank you. I was thinking about the meaning of acceptance. And sometimes I think for me, it starts with acceptance of my flaws, of my not knowing things, of my failing, of my stumbling. And when I can accept that, then I move on a little bit easier. Then I got, in a way, in my head, fake it until you make it. And that helps me, for example, too. So do you have any comments on that?
Yes, we would say that you could look at the fake it until you make it more as acknowledging that aspect that might be less than perfect, that might be emotional and selfish and all the quote unquote negative aspects. But really, it's a fabric made of many aspects. And so you're not really faking it. You're just acknowledging that your aspects may not be fully aligned to compassion at this moment, but you're still going to act like they are. So you're not really faking it. And in fact, when you do that, it's the opposite of faking it. You're loving your aspects. You're accepting them. You're supporting them, but you're not allowing them to run the show. And that's love. That's tough love. And all those aspects that all of you who are listening to this have to master are the whole gamut of them. All of them. The ones that are whiners, the ones that are selfish, especially the ones that are impatient. That's you. That's self-love. And when you learn to love those aspects of yourself, then you change them. Then you bring them into the unified field, because they don't want to come. No, we don't want to be aligned to compassion. We want to suffer. Okay. Well, while you're suffering over there, we're going to act like we are superb, powerful women. You can suffer. It's part of being human. We'll wait. We'll hold you. We'll hold a space for you. No problem. This too will pass. So you begin to be your own healer, your own teacher, your own powerful, patient master. And that's the journey. And that's the journey that's so, so trying for people who look outside themselves, which is most everyone, including yourselves, as masterful as you are. We want you to have some incredible humility for how incredible you are. This isn't about puffing yourself up and bragging about who you are. Just the opposite. It's about your deep intrinsic knowledge of really who you are and accepting this power. And it should change you into being more humbled. the more that you embrace with your awareness the whole truth of who you are, the more grateful and humbled you become.
Wow, that was clarifying. Thank you so much. Really helpful.
Yes. We're going to close the channel at this time, and we're going to leave you with a few ideas. One is that someday, after you've left your bodies, you're going to look back on this time with such an amazing, amazing compassion, this deep, deep love as you look at how hard you have been working at this, how willing you have been to expose the deepest parts of yourself, and how much power you actually learn to accept and then utilize for the greatest good of the whole earth right now. And you're going to see how pivotal you have been during a time of great transformation for the entire human species. And when you're in that place and you're seeing those things, there's going to be this deep sense of relief. And we see you in afterlife when your times have passed and you're back into the speed of light squared. We see you, all of you, coming together with a group hallucination. And you're on, we would say you're on the coast of Italy. And it's a very steep cliff coast. It's not a beach coast. We see you sitting at sunset with champagne. Maybe you're in a hot tub. And you're all as happy as you've ever been. You're relaxed. You're together. You're about to go be honored for the amazing work that you've done. And as you're sitting there and you're laughing about, remember when we thought we were doing it so wrong? And it brings tears to your eyes because you love yourself so much. You love yourselves. When you get out of your hot tub, you get dressed up and you go into this ceremony where you're being honored. And think of yourself in the audience, both in the audience and waiting on the wings to be called, to be honored. And a lot of people are going to say amazing things about you. Imagine you're out in the audience and out you come, you see yourself come out. And you're so excited because it's true. All those things people are saying about you, all those things the souls are honoring you for, it's true. Every last word of it. You came here to do this incredibly difficult work. And you've made a huge change already. And you're long from losing your bodies. And as you're in that audience and you're just overwhelmed for your friend up there on the stage, it's a better way to look at it than being on the stage, because then it's hard to accept. But if you look at it from outside, it's much easier. But we want you to experiment with that vision, perhaps before you go to bed at night or when you wake up in the morning when you're doing your meditation, to be the one on the stage who's accepting the award, who's being praised and honored. And you're not going to get up to the microphone and say, oh, this is all a mistake. I really was not this good. I really screwed up a lot of time. You're not going to do that. You're going to take a deep breath and you're going to feel the weight of the time travel within you. All the work you've done on all your timelines, the incredibly courageous and brilliant work that you've done with us in this lifetime. And you're going to be that full, deep, rich, embodied spirit. And you're going to really almost be speechless to the point where all that's going to be left for you to do is to watch and be amazed. Namaste.